Here is an overview of equipment that rescue team members use. A little information about carabiners. This is an old steel carabiner from the 60s and 70s. It's all steel. There's no gate lock on it, and there's an annoying little hook there when you're trying to get it off equipment. These we no longer use. It's very old, retired. Next generation was aluminum, and same thing, non-locking gate. This thing can open if a rope attaches or goes up against it. It can come out with disastrous consequences. No longer used. No gate lock. Next generation had a hook on the gate. Still no lock on the gate. Retired. Sport climbing. This is a newer sport climbing carabiner with a wire gate to protect the hook so it doesn't get hung up on equipment. Sport climbing, lightweight, no lock on the gate, wire gate, not used for rescue. Same thing, aluminum, no lock on the gate. Next generation, this is a two-stage protected gate. To open the carabiner, you twist, that's one, and open, two. These are retired because the rope can actually open this gate and release equipment. Two-stage carabiners not used in rescue. These have been retired. Screw gate carabiner. This is a more recent carabiner made by Rock Exotica. Screw gates are acceptable for rescue use. Key lock here, and we just want to make sure that all our equipment, when we attach to something, we have the gate down. We attach to it this way, we hook, rotate it around, and it'll be sitting in this configuration. That way the screw gate, if there's vibration, the screw gate will stay closed, and the gate is up so we could always visually inspect that as we're working with it. Acceptable for rescue. Another screw gate, aluminum. Again, we rig in this configuration, rotate the carabiner, and make sure the screw gate is aimed down so gravity will keep that closed. Acceptable for rescue. Screw gate, same thing, aluminum. Now here's a three-stage. You have to lift up on the gate, turn it, and then open it. Three-stage carabiner. These are preferred. This is a Petzl product. Up, twist, and then open. Three-stage. That's the safest carabiner. Here's a manual lock. This is made by Rock Exotica. CMC markets them, and same thing. Pull down, twist, and open. This particular manual gate will stay open until you lock it for convenience of rigging. So these have to be visually inspected, make sure they're locked before the system is used. This is what Rock Exotica calls an Orca gate. So again, pull up, twist, and then open. Three-stage. This is preferred for rescue. This one, similar to the manual gate, will stay open until you lock it. Up to this point, it'll let you put a piece of gear in there. If you press the gate open past this point, it will automatically lock. So it's lock and safe. So these 3-stage carabiners, this is what we prefer for rescue. It's a little bit more annoying. Sometimes it takes 2 hands to manipulate the gate, but this is a much safer carabiner. 3-stage, push up, twist, and then open. Much safer. This is a steel carabiner, screw gate. This is a G rated, so this is rated for more than 30 kilonewtons for a G rated load. For a full system load, that's steel. This is the aluminum version, manual lock. Same thing, pull down, twist, and then open. So that's for a G rated load. These are for a L rated load, so more of a personal, a single anchor in a system, that sort of thing. Here's another variation on the carabiner, another Rock Exotica product. 3-stage gate, pull down, twist, then open. But there's an integrated swivel in it, so that much nicer for equipment not getting tangled. And another variation on the 3-stage carabiner. Pulleys. We used to use this sort of a pulley, large sheave, and you know, semi-efficient sheave in this, but too big to carry into the field. These are retired. We've now gone to these smaller, more efficient pulleys, and easy to carry a couple of these, maybe 3 of them into the field. Our newer pulleys are these with an integrated swivel. Very handy for rigging. The side plate opens in 2 stages. You push the button and open it. It'll lock there in case it accidentally opens. One more press, fully opens it. Most team members are carrying a couple of these into the field. Very efficient. The efficiency of this pulley is well into the 90s, and you can really feel the difference. These are very useful for rigging. Smaller version, 1.1 inch, same thing, 2-stage side plate, smaller, lighter, very efficient, built-in swivel. These we carry in the field. In fact, you'll see team members carrying 2 or 3 of these instead of these, and we're using those in the field. Double sheave version, both side plates open, gives you access. Instead of having to unclip the pulley and insert the rope, these can be rigged and then the rope inserted later. Very handy. Larger version, this is usually not carried into the field. It's kept on the truck, and when we do truck operations, these larger pulleys are used. Swivel can be inserted into a rigging system and apply more versatility there. We've got the older Gibbs version. This is a rope grab or rope ratchet, and we no longer use these for rescue systems. They are something that can damage the rope, but it's handy for personal use. If I'm going down or coming up a slope and this safety line has been provided, I can use this to ascend the rope as I climb up. If I fall, this is going to hold me, but only useful for single rescue, single personnel use. We don't use them in systems anymore. There's been tests that this cam can actually sever ropes under a heavy load. This is the Petzl version of the same thing. Rope is inserted, and you know, it's just a different kind of a mechanism. These have been tested and proved to be a little easier on ropes, but we still don't like to use them in rescue loads. Alright, we've got Petzl ID. This is the older version. This is the newer version, larger feed lip here. The cams have been improved, and very useful piece of equipment for descent. This 1/2-inch version is approved for a G load, so you can put this in the system, lower a stretcher down with it, and perfectly fine. If you need to have a rescue member rappel into a subject, this is very appropriate for that. Rescuer clips in here, rappels down with actuating this lever, gets to the issue partway down the cliff, let go, everything's locked off. We do recommend a mule hitch on this if you're going to stop and work at a certain place for a period of time. But if need be, this can be used to lock it off, and it's no problem. Rope access professionals use these every day up at height, and they're have very good success for this. This is a very safe piece of equipment that we use all the time in rescue. This is the older version for 7/16. Still very effective. This is the Petzl rig, which does the same thing, but in this version there's a panic feature. If you're lowering yourself with this lever and you panic and pull too hard, the mechanism will lock up and stop your descent. The Petzl rig is a little bit smaller. It's made for a 7/16 rope. Does not have that panic version. So this is for use with a more experienced rescue person. Alright, we've got descent devices. We've got the old style figure 8, no longer used, that's retired. The newer style has ears on it, keeping the rope from coming off. It's also very useful for tying yourself off if you need to stop. But obviously the disadvantage of the figure 8 over the Petzl ID is there's no adjustment. You have to be hanging on to this, the tail end, for your descent, for your complete safety. If you let go, you're going for a ride. So these are not carried as much as we used to. They're being replaced by this. A little heavier, a little bulkier, but way safer. Big advancement in safety there. So these you'll still see in use, but less and less these days. Scarab is also used for descent. The same idea is you can, well, the advancement on this is you can adjust your descent. If you are coming down, you add a victim onto your descent device. This is the Scarab, and turns out you need more friction. You can just add more horns onto this, and you just keep adding it on. You can lock it off if you need to stop. But same issue as with the figure 8. If you let go, you're going for a ride. So you got to keep that safety hand on there. That's the Conterra Scarab. There's a smaller. This is actually G-rated for rescue loads. There's a smaller titanium version. Very great for carrying into the field. It's versatile. You can add friction to it. Newer entry is the CMC 3D. And same idea as the Scarab. You can add more friction to it. This one's a little different from the Scarab in that this lower bar moves, so you rig it a little bit different. You come down and go over this sliding bar and then start adding your friction to it. And very versatile. You'll see this carried in the field by rescue members because you can do so much more with it. But again, you have to keep your hand on the tail for control of this device. If you let go, you're going for that ride. So that's the CMC 3D. This is the 1/2 inch version of the Petzl ID. 7/16, 1/2 inch, 11 millimeter, 13 millimeter. Those are well used. The CMC came out with the clutch recently. I'm talking right now, we're in September 2020. CMC clutch is a big advancement on the CMC MPD. And the clutch is going to operate similar to the Petzl ID, but it has a ratchet feature. This is appropriate for G-rated loads, full rescue loads. You have a handle for descent. You can sandwich 2 of these together and have 2 loans for a twin system. You should have the tail of the rope coming over this lip for control. But again, hands free. If you let go, this will lock up and it's very safe. So this is a CMC clutch made by Harken. Around about $600. Also $650 the CMC MPD. You know, fairly heavy items, usually used close to the truck, but you'll see team members carry these in the field because of the versatility, the usefulness, and the safety of the item. So similar idea with the MPD. You're going to put a full-size rescue rope onto this. And with the MPD, very important that you rig with the tail over this lip and through the safety. The rope is released by turning this control handle. There's a parking brake. This is made for 7/16 rescue rope. So very typically our team will use 2 MPDs, one for each rope going over the side. If one rope system fails, different anchor system, the other rope system will catch the load. It's very safe. Heavy item, but very, very useful. What else do we have? We have a Petzl ASAP, which is used for a self-belay. So you may descend, let's say on a Scarab, on one line. Second line will be your safety line. So the Petzl ASAP will travel along with you, and it'll just be going along. If you fall, it'll lock up, and you're going to have this safety attached with a Petzl Absorbica. The Absorbica is a sewn device that will absorb impact. If you fall on this and the load is heavy enough, this will start to unzip. All this stitching will unzip and absorb a lot of the impact. It'll go a long ways to saving your back from greater injury. Okay, so that's the Petzl ASAP, used for self-belay. There's a newer version of the ASAP, which is featuring a lock on it. So same thing, this is your belay line. If you take a fall, it will lock up. There's an absorbing sewn piece of webbing in there, and that will absorb a lot of the shock. And if you need to stop and work at a certain position, this little button will lock it, and it'll hold your position on your safety line. You can still advance up, but the lock will help. So you're traveling down. As you're descending on your main line, if you take a fall, this will lock up. So much safer than going down on a single line. Sometimes used in rescue. I have Ascent devices. This is the Petzl Ascension. So if you have to ascend the line, you'll apply this. This is another rope grab or rope ratchet. It allows you to go up the rope and it will lock. This lanyard connects to your upper safety ring on your harness. And this is your foot loop, so that you step down on this and it'll allow your harness rope grab to advance. So that's the Petzl Ascension. There's a two-handled version doing the same thing. You can put two ropes on it, or even a single rope. You have your safety lanyard. This gives you 2 points of attachment, and your foot loop. Okay, this is a newer ascending device, and attaches to the rope, lets you go up the rope. If you need to, you can rig a 3-to-1 to help you ascend the rope. This would go onto your harness, and this will allow you to pull yourself up. This would be a 2-to-1 configuration. So just another little twist. They added a pulley on to the end of this for good measure. There's another device from Petzl for rigging. This is a item that'll give you an adjustable lanyard. You pull out, your load will go on this side. If you need to release it, you just pull it this way, and it gives you really good adjustability for L-rated loads. We sometimes carry sport climbing devices, and these are used for putting into cracks and attaching for vortex directional lines or guy lines. We have different sizes for different size cracks. We don't hang on these, but we use it for rigging lines. So sometimes we carry that. There's anchor plates. This is made by Rock Exotica. They don't make this one anymore, but large anchor plates for all the rigging. Smaller size, easier to carry into the field, and then a micro size rigging plates. These are screamers made by Yates. Same idea as this zipper item on the ASAP. This is appropriate for a single rescuer load. Connect this to your safety, and if you fall on it, it will give you some shock absorption. Here's a larger one. Members also carry pick-off straps. So this is also adjustable, and this will carry a full rescue load. It's large enough to carry that, but gives you good adjustability in rigging. And much more gear. Too much more to show here. We have a Rock Exotica Enforcer. This will tell us what loads that we're putting into a system. And this is rated for G loads. You can put this right in the middle of a system. It'll give you a direct real-time readout of how much load you're putting into a system. So that's it for now. We'll have more later.